Welcome, everybody, to the first ever We Are All Human virtual gala. Thank you for being here. The World Human Foundation is a non-for-profit organization devoted to advancing diversity and inclusion as a means to achieving equity and progress for all. We're very focused on inclusion because we believe that the world is pretty diverse already. We just have to make sure that we can create those inclusive environments so that all of us can be ourselves, so that all of us can be the best of ourselves. Our dream is to move the needle from tolerance to acceptance so that we can really make racism, xenophobia, and discrimination a thing of the past, a socially unacceptable thing. The Hispanic Star is a framework, a symbol to unify us all, a platform to showcase the incredible contributions of Latinos so that we can be unified and change our perception and representation. Let's see the results.
What makes us human? Is it the fact that our hearts do much more than pump blood? Or that no matter how many times we fall, we keep rising? Maybe it's our ability to laugh at ourselves. Or that we have all experienced the power of a hug. Maybe it's the fact that we are willing to share even when we don't have much to give. Reality is, no matter who we are, where we were born, or what we do for a living, we are all human. And yet, discrimination, rejection, and exclusion continue to spread. 76% of Latinos don't feel they can be themselves at work. Many Hispanics are insulted on a daily basis for speaking Spanish in public. If things don't change, our daughters will be paid 47% less just because they are Latinas. At the We Are All Human Foundation, our mission is to remind people that we all belong to the same human family, that what happens to one affects the other. We launched the Hispanic Star to help us move from invisible to visible, from negative to positive, from takers to makers. Hispanic Star is a powerful symbol to unify us all and showcase the incredible contributions of Latinos. Over 260 companies have signed the Hispanic Promise to engage and elevate Latinos as employees, community members, and consumers. Our goal is to become the largest network of Latinos that support each other. The Hispanic Star has united more than 100 Latino organizations and leaders under the Hispanic Star Alliance and created 22 Hispanic Star hubs across the country. Through our relief campaigns, we have helped over 1.5 million Latinos affected by COVID-19 in 50 cities. We will do whatever it takes to increase visibility for Latinos through books, infographics, factivism, and raise awareness campaigns. We connect companies, organizations, sports, celebrities, and the public sector to help Hispanics reach their full potential, to help Hispanics accelerate their progress. We will not stop until the job is done, because what is good for Hispanics is good for America. We are Hispanic Star, and together we shine.
Latinos are the most important driver of economic growth in the U.S., a true national powerhouse, and yet we're still an invisible powerhouse. And that invisibility is present and painful in our lives. Invisibility comes in many forms: lack of access, rejection, slow promotions or no promotions. We are stereotyped or pigeonholed. But perhaps the most painful is when we have had to hide our Latinidad. We've all had to do that at one point or another, contort ourselves to be someone we are not, just to fit in. That extracts a human cost, and yet we move forward. We are hard workers. We know how to focus on the future. We are not easily dissuaded from our dreams. We are resilient. If anyone doubts our resilience, look at this past year. The Latino community was hit faster and harder than anyone. We were the essential workers on the front lines every day. We lost loved ones, we lost jobs, we lost income disproportionately, and yet we move forward. Our values are a beacon that guides us through the roughest of waters. Our work ethic, our resilience, our perseverance, our families prepare us and propel us. We are not discouraged or deterred by challenges. We are ready to come back. We are Hispanic Stars, and we are ready to shine.
My name is Melissa Sanchez, and I'm a first-generation Latina that comes from a family of hardworking, resilient Mexicans. Ever since my mother arrived here to the States, she's had to work minimum wage jobs to support my 3 younger brothers and me. As the oldest daughter, I had to take the role of being a second mother to my brothers. I also had to learn how to advocate for myself growing up because my mom did not speak English. Navigating these obstacles while going to school and taking care of my brothers was not always easy, but I do not give up. I am now attending the University of Chicago on a full-ride scholarship, and I will become the first person in my family to graduate. Because of the endurance that I learned from my mother, the love and hope of success I have for my family, and the commitment of never ever giving up until I can give my mother everything she deserves, I am a Hispanic star, and I'm ready to shine.
My name is Mauricio Martinez, and I always dreamed of being on stage. I got my first taste of New York as a musical theater student a little bit over 20 years ago at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy here in New York City. And my first introduction to the Broadway stage was selling merchandise at the Palace Theater, where Beauty and the Beast was playing 8 shows a week. 10 years after, that show transferred to Mexico City, and I got cast as the lead of the Beast in Mexico City. But I knew I wanted to come back to the United States and to make it on Broadway. So I planned my return. 10 years later, after 2 solo albums, 10 telenovelas, 10 musicals, 2 TV shows, and an international Emmy for the TV show El Vato. But most importantly, as a 4-time cancer survivor, I made my Broadway debut in the musical On Your Feet, playing Emilio Estefan.
Oh my God, I saw that.
And I took the show on its first national tour across 64 cities all over the US. We performed at the Kennedy Center, at the Kennedy Honors, even at the Library of Congress. But even to this day, I face challenges of being a Latino. Do I sound like a Latino? Do I look like a Latino? So I want to keep inspiring the young artists that come after me, every single Latino in this city, every single Latino in this country, to remind them to be proud of being a Latino. And I want to keep shining and telling them, reminding them that dreams come true and that we are here to stay. I am a Hispanic star, and I'm gonna keep on shining.
You know, these past years, we have been facing unimaginable pandemic, one that hit our community faster and harder with our high rate of essential workers. But everywhere, despite the challenges, we found people working, going above and beyond, risking their own lives to save and also to improve the lives of Americans. Tonight, we honor these heroes of our community with the Hispanic Star Humanitarian Award. The pandemic saw Hispanic heroes, nurses, giving their all to save lives. The pandemic also underscored the looming shortage of nurses in the US. Problem, opportunity. Hispanic Star started a program to provide scholarships for future nurses. I am thrilled to share with you that in 2021, Hispanic Star corporate partners extended their generosity to provide 50 scholarships. And also a new partnership with Northwell Health will extend this program broadly. Take a look at this video.
My name is Ali Brooke, and I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And you all keep on shining, and we all will keep on shining. That's right. contigo nada me hace falta, que a pesar de la tormenta vas a escapar. Si te tengo a ti, no hace falta nada. No sé ni cómo, pero no hace falta nada. Si te tengo a ti, no hace falta nada. Tú nada más, presa del tiempo, y en tu mundo yo quiero estar y siempre despertar junto a ti, porque puedo tener mansiones, tener ambiciones, nada si no te tengo a ti. Puedo tener millones en mis intenciones, vas a estar. Si te tengo a ti, no hace falta nada. No sé ni cómo, pero no hace falta nada. Si te tengo a ti, no hace falta nada. Tú nada más. Si te tengo a ti, no hace falta nada. No sé ni cómo, pero no hace falta nada. Si te tengo a ti, no hace falta nada. Tú nada más. Porque puedo tener mansiones, tener ambiciones, nada si no te tengo a ti. Puedo tener millones en mis intenciones, vas a estar. Si te tengo a ti, no hace falta nada. No sé ni cómo, pero no hace falta nada. Si te tengo a ti, no hace falta nada. Tú nada más. Si te tengo a ti, no hace falta nada. No sé ni cómo, pero no hace falta nada. Si te tengo a ti, no hace falta nada. Tú nada más.
I support We Are All Human and the Hispanic Star.
I believe in the work that the organization is doing, uniting the Latinas community and touching the lives of so many individuals and families across all the nation with the support of all the local hubs and everybody involved.
It makes it very easy when someone gives you a blueprint, and this organization, this foundation, gives you a blueprint on how to navigate and get the most out of the workforce and reach your clientele.
To really move our power forward into the same direction. I think that united, we can do so much more than what we can do individually.
And we don't want misconceptions to dictate how we look at a large group of people. It's a very large number of Hispanics in the United States. And this is something to celebrate, not something to denigrate.
The Hispanic Star symbol, I feel in my heart a sense of pride, a sense of identity, of unity. I feel empowered, like I belong to a community that is beautiful and great and diverse and powerful.
I'm so proud to be a Latino friend, and I'm so privileged to be one, not just proud, but privileged.
Is a symbol that we can all relate to and immediately understand it's about us, it's about our future, it's about our hopes, it's about our dreams, it's about our ambitions, it's about what's good for us and for the American future.
This year's gala is devoted to Hispanic stars, allowing us to shine, elevating the voices of Latinos and celebrating us, but also allowing us to have a strong comeback after such a hard year. And that infrastructure, that ecosystem of elevating Latinos, mobilizing each other, educating each other last year when we needed it most, got into action. More than $14 million of products, of food and services were distributed in more than 50 cities by Hispanic Star hubs through relief campaigns. I know that if we can do that, we can move everything, and we're not going to stop until the job is done.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Hispanic Star Awards 2021.
The past 2 years, of course, brought to our attention the Hispanic nurses, true heroes who risked their lives to save others, who worked through exhaustion and burnout, and often with dealing with their own personal losses. True heroes who defined resilience and made a difference to our community, to our country. Because of their commitment, their courage, and their compassion, the first Hispanic Star Humanitarian Award goes to Hispanic nurses. Accepting the award is Adriana Nava, the president of the National Association of Hispanic Nurses. Welcome!
Thank you. I'm deeply humbled, and I've always believed that Hispanic nurses are at the forefront of healthcare leadership in our communities. On behalf of all the Latino nurses across the country, I humbly accept this award on their behalf. Thank you.
With an unknown disease raging across the country, our healthcare system was tested as never before. In our community, there were many people that rose to the challenge. But Dr. Mauricio Gonzalez, well, he's simply a force. An internal medicine emergency room doctor, Dr. Mauricio has spent the better part of the last 2 years on the front line treating COVID-19 patients as the pandemic raged. But he did even more. He became what I call the Latino Dr. Fauci. Latino Dr. Fauci was serving the community with appearances on national TV, debunking myths and relating facts and science to help people stay safe and to gain confidence in vaccinations and safety protocols. Because of his commitment to communities' health, because of his dedication to use his voice to inform and fight fake news and misinformation, for his contagious optimism and enthusiasm, Dr. Mauricio, you're a truly Hispanic star, and we honor you with the Hispanic Star Healthcare Award.
Okay, I thought this was going to be easier. Gracias. Well, being an emergency medicine doctor in the middle of the pandemic was quite a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But not only for the reasons you might think, such as working long hours or being dressed like astronauts all the time, or actually the constant fear about getting infected and passing the disease to my wife and kids, which honestly was my worst fear ever. This pandemic made me wake up as a human. And it reminded me that I belong to a great and big community. You know which one? The Latinx community. And I say it with all my heart, I took it very seriously. My mission today, and always from now on, will be to protect my people, to understand them, guide them, and be there for them. I have made it my life's work to do everything in my power, to destroy and disarm disinformation that might harm my community, my people, mi gente. Thank you, we're all human, Claudia, and the amazing team for this recognition. It truly brings fire to my soul and energy to keep going. I would also like to be quite frank and say that without the love and support of my wife, nothing would have been possible. Te amo, Maitita. And my dear friends, listen to me very carefully and look into my eyes. Latinos are here. and we are not going away. I'm honored to receive the Hispanic Star Healthcare Award, and always remember, together we shine. Thank you.
Many of you know Mark Pritchard as the leading voice for marketers in the world. As the chief brand officer of Procter & Gamble, the largest advertiser in the world, he has brought so many brands into our homes and into our hearts. Campaigns like "Thank You Mom" for the Olympics and "Like a Girl" aren't just part of culture, they create culture. Which is why, to steal a tagline from a very old ad, when Mark Pritchard speaks, the entire marketing world listens and they follow. Yeah? I recall the many years in which I was pretty much a pain in the neck, and going to Mark Pritchard and saying, we have to actually go to the Cannes Advertisement Festival because there's no Hispanic presence there. And we finally got there. After 2 years ago, we created the first ever Latino event for the Cannes Advertisement Festival, co-hosted by 12 of the most incredible Latino marketers in the world. And we got a room that was for 50 people. The Wall Street Journal was hosting us that night, and they said, like, yeah, this event is gonna be like for 50 people. We had 300 people on that room waiting to hear from the marketing, understanding how can they grow. And Mark Pritchard was part of the panel, one big wig after the other. And so we had, like from the agencies to the brands and Mark Pritchard started that session. And he started by saying, my name is Mark Pritchard, but my real name is Nikki Gonzalez. I just never used that before because I was scared that I was not gonna be able to be where I am today. But I'm not willing to have more Nikkis pretending to be Marks and no more Gonzalez pretending to be Pritchard. And I think that that's a very powerful story of every one of us that is coming out to our Latinidad. That inspiration of we can be ourselves. P&G has been right there from the beginning since we started Hispanic Star. I was joking with Mark just before that we created Hispanic Star, but basically P&G gave birth to it. Because a brand is not a brand until you have corporations like you, Procter & Gamble, or like you, MLS, and every one of you that is absorbing it and taking it. When the pandemic hit, Procter & Gamble was right there with us. We didn't know what to do. We created Hispanic Star, and we decided to make it just Hispanic Star in action because our people were disproportionately affected. And it was because of under the leadership of Mark Pritchard that we started receiving a lot of products from Procter & Gamble. And because of the products you gave us and the PPE and all that nightmare of trying actually to put hand sanitizers in little bottles and everything that we did, we started getting 20 companies behind giving us more. And that was the birth of the Hispanic Star Hubs network that together with the entire entity, like the entire ecosystem of companies, we were able to distribute and support more than 450,000 families for over 6 months, supporting with more than $14 million of products. Going across every city, from Phoenix to Dallas to New York, because ladies and gentlemen, let me just break the news for you. All the old systems that exist, they do not reach us. Many warehouses where all the Feeding Americas of the world, the Food for Americas, they go great places to Alabama, New Orleans. My people are in Miami, in the Bronx and Chicago, and it is us who made that last mile together. And it was thanks to Procter & Gamble that we were going to be able to fulfill that essential section, this essential function of being the last mile for our community. So the best ever partner that I ever dreamed of was Procter & Gamble. Yes, the largest advertiser in the world, why not? And under the Mark's leadership and all his incredible superstar colleagues present here that I admire so much, thank you so much for being here, we are creating an entire infrastructure to advance Latinos. The breakthrough campaign to portray Latinos as pro for Americas will help reposition Latinos and change the narrative so that everyone in this country knows that Hispanic progress is American progress. How lucky we are to have Procter & Gamble behind us, the largest advertiser in the world, on board to make us visible and shine. So we're working together, Procter & Gamble Hispanic Star, to dream big and to deliver big frameworks to bring all the players of the Hispanic community together so that we can all benefit and finally get and leverage all the efforts from everyone so that we can break those structural barriers and generate systemic change. And because of your incredible, courageous, and visionary leadership, for your courage to come out as a Latino and in fact all marketers to fight the hard fights with imagination and innovation, and for your big heart, I am honored to present the Hispanic Star Corporate Award 2021 to Mark Pritchard.
Oh my. How does one follow Claudia? You don't. So I won't try. But I will say, thank you, Claudia, for those incredibly generous words. Now, you are such a powerful force, and it is an incredible privilege to be your partner. You're amazing. This is more than a tremendous honor, and I am so very humbled to accept it, and especially from you, who are so dear to my heart. So thank you. This award also has very special meaning to me. When I was young, my father, who was Mexican-American, whose name was Gonzalez when he was born, who was adopted by a man named Pritchard, who then married a German woman, and when they had me, I had the privilege of having a Caucasian name. So I grew up as Mark Pritchard, although I was Mexican, and it took me about 30 years before I actually came out as Mexican. And I did that, and I asked myself, why did it take so long? And it took so long because when I grew up, my dad showed me what it was like to be Mexican. There was prejudice, there was bias. I grew up in Colorado. The Chicano community was where you saw a lot of prejudice and bias, even violence. So I didn't although I embraced it personally, I didn't embrace it professionally, because I also knew that people knew I was Mexican, they might think about me differently. But I came out because it was important to demonstrate to the people in our company and the people in the community that being Latino is a great thing, and embracing your Latinidad is a great thing. And if I can provide that level of emotional safety for other people, then I know others can do it. So that's why I did it. But beyond that, my dad devoted a lot of time to the migrant farm workers in Colorado, in Wattenberg, Colorado, Wate, they called it. And I got to see firsthand what that was all about, because what was it all about is he went to help them with health care, because they didn't have much health care, they didn't have much education, they didn't have really a lot of access to jobs, but we were there. And what I got to see was their resilience, their optimism, their love, their devotion, and that still means the world to me. Having that, and that's actually what I feel here tonight, because this is what Wate felt like, and this is what family feels like, and that's what's so wonderful about being here with all of you. Now, I am so thankful and blessed to be in a position and to work in a company and to work with people like Sarah and Carlos and Jeff and Stacy and Jen and Mark and Allison and Andrea and Hero, who are so passionate about making life better for people every single day. And our brands, as Claudia said, as the world's largest advertiser, our brands are committed to use our reach and our voice in advertising as a force for good and as a way that we can promote the power of being Hispanic, empower the progress of the Hispanic community, and be a force for good and a force for growth. We're mindful of the tremendous responsibility we have, because when advertising reflects culture, but advertising shapes culture. And if you don't have an accurate portrayal, then it will shape culture in an inaccurate and prejudiced and biased way. So our job is to make sure that every single piece of advertising we have authentically and realistically portrays every Hispanic, every person for that matter. And what it means is that we will always be accurate, respectful, and authentic, and we will never stereotype, objectify, diminish, or denigrate. Never, ever. But we can do a lot more, and that's where the Hispanic Star comes in. Because as COVID raged across our country, that's when Claudia came and said, okay, now is our time. And because it was affecting Hispanics more than anybody, the multi-generational households, the prominence of essential workers, the Hispanic Star Alliance is what gave us the opportunity to reach 30 different hubs, to get all that product to people, to help people out, and to make sure that we could start to get the Hispanic community back on its feet where it needed to, but a lot more. And it was transformational, because now what we're doing is we're working on the systemic changes, because the systemic changes are going to take us further. Because we know that Hispanic progress is a pro for America. And I remember very vividly my father's pride as he told me about his journey of rising from poverty from the streets of Denver to get a college education, to become a healthcare professional, and then a marketing professional, and how proud he was to raise our family solidly in the middle class. Today, Hispanics are the muscle of the middle class and critical to our country's future prosperity. But we have a lot to do to change perceptions. And we need to make sure that Hispanics, especially our young leaders, are ready for the responsibility that they have, because we will soon be the majority in the not too distant future. So it gives me the deepest pride to be part of this change. This is more than professional, it's personal. And it's a profound privilege to be a partner with Hispanic Star, a tremendous organization and movement that's helping make such a difference in people's lives. And we've just begun. Our work, my work, is not finished, and we absolutely will not stop. But for now, I want you to know how much this honor means to me, and words cannot possibly express the depths of my gratitude and my love for every single one of you. Thank you.
Melissa Barrera was raised and born in Mexico. Her dream role model star was Maria Felix, and she started studying theater and acting and becoming the performer so that she can be as badass as Maria Felix. Melissa came to study to New York and then went back to Mexico to start performing in soap operas and others. And now she's here breaking it and making it as Latina, performing as Vanessa in The Heights, getting into a new film with Paul Mescal and with Courtney Fox in a new series that she's starting. Yes, she's groundbreaking, Hispanic Star rising, and incredible admiration for all of us. She is the new global ambassador of Clinique, the first ever Latina. Melissa, for your persistence, your determination, for your incredible desire to become a role model, we give you tonight the Hispanic Star Award for Media and Entertaining. Congratulations.
Muy buenas noches. Muchas gracias por este honor. Thank you so much for this incredible honor. I'm very humbled to be getting this award, and I receive it with all my heart, with lots of gratitude, and with the responsibility that it comes to continue to represent our people in the industry and to hopefully do it in a way that makes our community proud and keeps elevating our people in a way that feels aspirational and hopeful and truthful. I am so happy to support We're All Human, to support an organization that is doing so much to lift our people up, to give us hope and encouragement, and to open doors so that we can realize our full potential and go to the highest places in all industries. When I first received the invitation to receive this award, I thought to myself, why am I getting an award? Why do they want to recognize me if I haven't done anything? And I was going to say no. And I feel like it's something that as Latinos, our community, we do that a lot. We diminish our accomplishments. We downplay our strengths. And then I thought to myself, no, I've worked really, really hard to get to where I am. And I am very aware that I'm only getting started and that there's a long, long way to go. But I'm proud of every step that I've taken, of every decision that I've made, of all the hours that I've put in to be ready for the opportunities when they present themselves to me. So that's why I'm here, believing in myself.
The work that we're doing matters, and it is because of you that we can continue doing it. Please support us. Please donate to the World Human Foundation so that we can continue fulfilling our mission. We have a silent auction with more than 10 incredible items that I invite all of you to go to the website weareallhuman.org. Are you looking for a beautiful dress from Anne Fontaine, an incredible painting? Do you want to get some holiday vacation or even a breakfast with Red Stevens? Yes, this is the place to go to the silent auction and start auctioning because this is closing. Your support can help us and actually benefit you with an incredible set of auction items. Donate, donate!
Si pudiese protegerte pa' que no tropieces, aunque hay cosas que no te mereces, pero mi corazón te pertenece, aunque peleamos a veces, aunque a veces te parezca extraño, la vida entera yo te acompaño, de tus lágrimas yo seré el paño, todo lo haría por ti. ti, por ti, por ti, por ti. Si te caes, yo te levanto. Eres mi ritmo, por eso te canto. Eres perfecto, amo tus encantos. Que Dios te cuide con su santo manto. Tienes sentido, en la prisión de mi corazón estás recluido. Si fueras materia, te hubiera ejercido. Lo negativo a ti nunca te ha consumido. Lo dejé todo y llegaste tú a limpiar mi alma con toda tu calma. Todo lo haría por ti, por ti, por ti, por ti. Todo lo haría por ti, por ti.
Nunca he dicho que te quedes por temor a que te vayas. Ay, ay, ay. Tú te fuiste y ahora entiendo que callar no lleva nada. Ay, ay, ay. Y en el techo de mi alma tengo un hueco donde entra la lluvia y me moja el alma. Pocas cosas me dan miedo y una de ellas es perder la luz de tu mirada. Vine a buscarte porque yo sueño contigo y no pienso echarte al olvido esta vez. Voy a amarrarme como un velero a tu boca y hasta que te vuelva loca lo haré. Voy a mover sobre tu piel mojada. De regreso, solo siguen las señales. Ay, ay, ay. No hay amor que sea perfecto, el cariño es lo que vale. Ay, ay, ay. Y en el techo de mi alma tengo un hueco donde entra la lluvia y me moja el alma. Pocas cosas me dan miedo y una de ellas es perder la luz de tu mirada. Vine a buscarte porque yo sueño contigo y no pienso echarte al olvido esta vez. Voy a amarrarme como un velero a tu boca y hasta que te vuelva loca lo haré. Voy a llover sobre tu piel mojada. Solo tú y solo yo sabemos lo que el río va arrastrando. Y es que yo solo quiero que tú entiendas, porque es que
The Hispanic Star is a framework, a platform, and a catalyst for mobilization of different players so that we can all win, win, win by achieving Latino unity and Latino pride. Thank you for all our sponsors, for all our donors. It is because of your support that we're able to continue doing our work and fulfilling our mission. I also want to thank our friends, our supporters, our partners, our allies, for believing in the same dream, that we can make the world more inclusive, that we can actually change the perception of Latinos so that we can all be seen, heard, and valued. Special thanks to the Hispanic Star Hubs, those leaders all across the country that are fulfilling the mission of unifying and changing the perception of Latinos at the local level, that are investing their time and voluntarism to make a change in their local and their cities and the reality for thousands of Latinos every day. And lastly, I would like all of you to join me in saying gracias to the We Are All Human team. Your effort, your passion, your conviction in believing that we can make a difference is actually making a difference. Gracias. Let's keep doing.